What is going on today, guys? Tomcat here, and today we are back in Forza Horizon 2 taking a look at my 1000 plus horsepower GTR drag car. Now, even though this car is a drag car, it's actually really decent at a lot of other things, really. It's great for long distance racing, road racing, things like that. But the main thing I wanted to talk about with this car is the gearing that I have with it. Now, the build, you really don't need to see that because all you have to do is just fully build up the engine. That's it. It's extremely simple. The thing, though, that's different about this car is that I've changed the gearing to where it now has 410 gears. Now, that significantly reduces the top speed, obviously. It can only do about 201 now. But this car was set up for acceleration. This thing was tuned for acceleration, and the actual acceleration levels are absolutely ridiculous. I'll go ahead and let me get it into... Actually, you know what? We'll start out from second gear. We'll brake boost it a little bit. And go. And you gotta brake immediately because it's insane. This is the fastest accelerating GTR I have ever built. In really across any Forza title. Forza 5, Forza Horizon 2... this is by far the quickest accelerating GTR. Not the quickest top speed GTR I've ever built, but definitely the quickest accelerating GTR. And even when it starts to rain, traction is not an issue because of the all-wheel drive system. Now, what we're going to do is instead of testing it out in the streets of Sisteron, we're going to go ahead and take it over to the airfield because when you're testing a drag car, that's where you go, honestly. I mean, if you're going somewhere else to test a drag car, well, no, you know what? The highway works too. If you're doing a car for roll racing, the highway works great. But either way works really. The airfield or the highway. If you're doing an all-out drag car, go to the airfield. But if you're doing a roll car, like something for like 50 rolls, go to the highway. I mean, it just kind of depends on whatever you want to do with it. Now, why do I have a? We'll get rid of that. No. There, gone. Alright, so, I know it's raining, but you guys can still get an idea of the actual acceleration of this car. So, we're going to go ahead and I'd say probably launch it since it's raining, probably about 4,000. Nearly there, come on! Oh, avoiding the Bel Air. And as you can see, it tops out at 201, but it's how fast it gets there that's the crazy part. It's how fast it can actually achieve that speed. That's the thing, it'll blow almost anything away up to 200 miles an hour. But once you get past 200 miles an hour, you know, obviously you're going to start having some issues. If you're doing anything like long distance drag racing, your major advantage is going to happen, obviously, in that first, I would say, probably half mile or so. And then after that, you better hope you have enough distance on them because they are going to start to catch up to you. The nice thing about a GTR, though, is that it's got really good brakes. I said really good brakes. You're not making me look good, GTR. It took a little bit longer to stop than I thought it would. But either way, I'm just constantly messing with this car and messing with the actual gear ratios and stuff like that. Really, all I have done to it right now is final drive. I've been messing around with it a lot. I mean, if you really wanted to make it so you could have a little bit more top speed, you could tune 6th a little bit more. You could try to give 6th a little bit more top speed priority and make it a little bit longer. But honestly, the way it is right now, I'll go ahead and do an interior run. Actually, I really like it. Actually, I love the way this thing just stall it. Okay, there we go. It's best with traction control off as well. Even in the rain, it's extremely controllable, extremely easy to launch, and you're topped out. But again, even though it does top out really quickly, it's how fast you actually get there that matters. And the nice thing about it being a GTR is it doesn't lose, and even when you put this much horsepower in it, it doesn't lose any of its GTR-ness, which means it can do this. And just keep going, and going, and oh god, there's some shipping crates there, put it in reverse. But either way, you've got so much power, it doesn't even matter that it's all-wheel drive. You can just slide it all over the place. Even, you know, especially in the rain, there's so much potential to just have fun with this car that it becomes it gets to the point where you're not dealing with something that's just a dragster. I mean, and that's, when you build a lot of muscle cars up to this level of horsepower for the purpose of drag racing, it gets to the point where all they want to do is go straight. They just want to be a drag car, and this, it wants to be so much more than just a drag car, even though that's what it's built for. That I have it built to be a drag car. It's great for so much more than that. I mean, and in this spec, at least from 0 to 200, it will pretty much hang with almost any hypercar. Well, it'll hang with all supercars, and for the most part, a good many hypercars from 0 to 200 miles an hour. Now, past 200 miles an hour, obviously that's going to require a bit more tuning, and you're going to have to sacrifice a bit of the launch. But this was built for the purpose of roll racing, like 50 rolls and stuff like that, which I'll actually go ahead and show you again. But so you guys can get a bit of an idea outside the little town what you're dealing with here. You probably want to start out in second gear. You know, brake boost it a little bit, and let it go. And it works a little bit better if you shift at the right time and don't bounce it off the rev limiter. But definitely one of my favorite cars I have in my garage right now. It's not something I normally build. It's more along the lines of a car that you'd only use for certain occasions. You know, you'd only use this if you were gonna go do drag racing with, you know, some type of specific group or anything like that, or something like that. But the nice thing about this car is that it's not, you know, it doesn't demand millions of credits from you in order to be hypercar fast. And that's the nice thing about it, is that you can do so much to it in the tuning front that, I mean, you can have a fully built GTR and still be less credits into it than something like, well, for sure something like a P1 or 650S or any of those cars that are in this same league as far as speed. This thing is actually more than a 650S, but anything that's in that same league, this thing is either going to hang with it or be faster than it for quite a bit less credits. And if you're having a little bit of trouble either making credits or hanging on to them, but you want a drag car, wow, yeah, right into the wall. But you want a drag car, this is definitely a car that I think pretty much everybody that's interested in a drag car should look at. It's very, I want to say it's very easy to drive, because it is, and I feel like some people are going to go, well, you know, that's what a GTR is. A GTR is just a computer with, you know, well, when it comes down to that, you know, the way that works is it's fast, and you just kind of get to the point where you're just like, I want something fast. I have other cars that are analog and, you know, really require a lot of focus. This car requires just as much focus at this level of power. I mean, if at this level of power, if you're being really competitive with drags, you got to know when to get your shift points right. You got to know when to launch it. Let's see if I can actually get a proper launch. Wasn't bad. At least I'm not banging it off the rev limiter anymore. And you get into a real rhythm with this car too. When you get into that rhythm, it's great. That's the thing. When you get into a rhythm with it, it is so good. It's so nice. Such a smooth accelerating car as well. And if you don't have a lot of cars in your garage, you can build this and use it for circuits. You can have different tune setups for it, different upgrade setups for it, and use it as a really nice all-rounder. Now, would I do that? No. I have other cars that I would prefer to use in a road racing setup. Let's see. What else would I prefer to use in a road racing setup? I've got a Noble M600 for that if you're talking supercars. I've got multiple FRSs for that if you're talking sports cars. You know, I've got M3s for that. All sorts of different cars, and if you land wrong, whoa! Woo! Damn, that was pretty ridiculous. But I'll go ahead and show you guys, now that I've shown you guys the whole, just kind of showing you guys what this thing can do, I'll take you through the tune setup, because really all you need to do to get this car to where mine is mechanically is just basically put every single upgrade you can on it, and then basically just do this setup. Really just put the final drive to 410 and then customize it from there. I'm going to work on 6th gear a little bit. I feel like it's not giving me as much acceleration as I want it to. And I could maybe mess with the alignment a little bit, but the alignment is fine, really. I mean, I'm not turning this into a drift car. Actually, I forgot to bring the ride height down all the way. That should help it just a little bit. But, and I'll mess with the settings of the diff later. I feel like I might be able to kind of balance that out just a little bit better. But, this is my drag project right now. And I know I don't normally do drag projects, but really excited about this one because it's really damn fast. That's all I'm going to say about it. It is ridiculous. But if you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave me a like. Tell me in the comment section down below what you guys thought of it. And if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe for more. And I will see you guys in the next one. Talk to you guys later.